All right, let's dive right in. Today we're going to tackle a really fundamental skill in endoscopic ultrasound, or EUS, and that's tracing the main pancreatic duct, all the way from the body to the tail and then back again to the head. Think of this as your step-by-step navigator's guide. You know, getting this right isn't just about good technique, it's absolutely crucial for making an accurate diagnosis. So let's get started. So here's our game plan. First, we'll map out the pancreas. You gotta know the terrain. Then we'll find our home base. From there, we'll journey out toward the tail, then swing back and navigate our way to the head. And to wrap it all up, we'll cover some pro tips that'll really make a difference. You know, before you start any journey, you need a good map. In EUS, that means being crystal clear on what you're looking for and what the surrounding landscape looks like. Let's nail down those fundamentals first. Our main target, our North Star, if you will, is the main pancreatic duct, or MPD. On the ultrasound, you're looking for a small anechoic, which just means black, tube, or even just a dot. That black appearance tells you it's filled with fluid, letting the sound waves pass right through. And you'll find it running smack dab in the middle of the pancreas itself. So what about that surrounding terrain? Well, a healthy pancreas has this classic salt and pepper look on ultrasound. It's the slightly grainy, mixed texture that actually provides the perfect backdrop. It makes that clean, black line of the duct really stand out. Seeing that salt and pepper? That's your first clue. You're in the right place. Okay, every great navigation starts from a reliable point, a home base. For us, that home base is the pancreatic body. I can't stress this enough. Finding it consistently is the absolute key to a successful and complete exam. And finding this home base isn't guesswork. It's a simple three-step process. First things first, you're going to position your scope right around the GE junction, about 40 centimeters in, to find the aorta. Once you've got the aorta, you trace it down a bit until you see the celiac artery branching off. Then from there, you just give a gentle push down with the scope. And boom, the pancreatic body will come right into view. Just remember that sequence: aorta, celiac, pancreas. It's your ticket to a perfect start every time. Now, this right here is probably the most important tip I can give you. The splenic vein is your best friend during this procedure. Think of it as your highway. It runs in a nice, relatively straight line right along the back of the pancreas. If you can keep that splenic vein in your sights, you'll stay oriented and on track through the whole exam. It's your guide wire. All right, we're at our home base in the body. Our first move is to trace the duct out towards the tail, which is over on the patient's left side. This is going to require a very specific set of movements with the scope. Okay, pay close attention here because it's all about this two-part motion. Starting from the body, you begin to rotate the scope shaft clockwise, and as you're doing that, you're also slowly and smoothly withdrawing the scope. Clockwise and withdraw. Got it? That specific combination is what's going to drive your view right along the duct all the way to the tail. So what's happening anatomically when we do this? Well, that clockwise rotation and withdrawal is perfectly mirroring the natural path of the pancreas itself. You're basically just following the main pancreatic duct and the splenic vein as they head left towards the spleen and the left kidney. Your hands on the outside are tracing the anatomy on the inside. So, how do you know when you're done, when you've reached the end of the line? You look for your terminal landmark, the splenic hilum. This is basically the doorway to the spleen, where all the blood vessels enter and exit. Once you see the splenic hilum, you can be confident that you've seen the entire pancreatic tail. First part of the mission complete. Okay, we've fully explored the tail. Now it's time to head back to home base and reverse course. Our next journey is tracing the duct back towards the pancreatic head. And the good news? The maneuvers are the exact opposite of what we just did. Now this slide. This is your money slide. It's the perfect cheat sheet. Seriously, to get to the tail, what did we do? We went clockwise and we withdrew the scope. Now to get to the head, you just do the exact opposite. You go anti-clockwise and you push. It's a perfect mirror image. If you can just lock that simple contrast into your brain, you will have a huge advantage in mastering scope control. So what's our destination this time? We're heading for the portal vein confluence. This is a major vascular intersection where our trusty guide, the splenic vein, meets up with the superior mesenteric vein. That junction is sitting right behind the neck of the pancreas, which connects the body and the head. It's a critical landmark. As you get into the pancreatic head, you'll see a really classic sign that confirms you're there. The duct, which has been running nicely alongside your scope, will suddenly seem to drop down, making a sharp turn away from you. Why does it do that? Because it's diving deep into the head towards the ampulla.
Seeing that dropping duct is your sign that you've successfully reached the end of the pancreatic head.
Okay, so you've learned the map, you've learned the basic turns. Now let's talk about the pro tips, the little things that take this from just a procedure to a truly expert-level examination. One of the biggest things to remember is that the linear endoendoscope gives you a pretty narrow letterbox view of the world. Just looking straight ahead isn't enough. You have to use the rule of 360. That means you need to be actively rotating the scope a full 360 degrees, torquing clockwise and counterclockwise to build a complete 3D picture in your mind of what you're looking at. So let's quickly recap the most important tips. First, always center the duct at the bottom of your screen, the 6 o'clock position, before you start torquing. That'll keep you from losing it. Second, if you're ever in doubt, is that the duct or a vessel, just turn on the color Doppler. No color means no flow, which means it's the duct. Third, trust your guide. The splenic vein will not lead you astray. And finally, know your finish lines. The splenic hilum tells you you've seen the whole tail, and that dropping duct confirms you've seen the head. So there you have it. We've traced the entire course, we've broken down the maneuvers, and we've pointed out all the key landmarks. When you use a systematic approach like this, a really challenging procedure becomes a reliable, repeatable skill. And remember, mastering the navigation of the pancreatic duct isn't just about showing off your scope skills, it's about unlocking the full diagnostic power of every single EUS you perform.